more importantly, feel the power of these amps and the reasons why Sin chooses these to be the amp of choice for him when he's on tour, which he is going to be shortly coming on tour. I was very impressed by this man's thoughts and his insights into the industry, so I encourage you to listen, take notes, whatever it is, enjoy, sit back. I'd like to introduce at this particular point Mr. Lauren Molinar. He is the A&R rep and product manager from Blackstar. Coming up.
Thanks, Florentino. I'd like to thank Pitbull Audio for letting us have the Blackstar Clinic with Sin here. And, yeah, it's a real pleasure working with this guy. You know, we kind of go back a few years. And, you know, Sin's using the Series One amps. And, you know, we've got products like this guy. The Blackstar Fly. This thing's $59, but it sounds just as good as the Series 1 amp half stack that he's playing. And, you know, the giveaway, I'm sure all you guys signed up for the ID Core Beam, which is a really great thing to plug in acoustic guitars, bass guitars, plug in for Pro Tools. So wide array of products. But, Sen, you ready to do this? Cool. So this will be a really great insight to the products, ministry music, any questions you may have. It's a great opportunity here. So we'll get this going here.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you very much for coming out. I really appreciate you guys being here. Real quick thanks to Pitbull Audio for having me here. Big thanks to everybody at Blackstar as well. Obviously, I'm here for Blackstar amps. These are the amplifiers that that ministry uses on tour. I've been with Blackstar now for about a year and a half, going on 2 years, and there's nothing that comes close to these Blackstar amps for us. I was first introduced to them by our late great guitar player Mike Scascia. He was the one that first turned me onto these amps a few years ago, and sure enough, as soon as I plugged into one, I was just a fan right away. So I introduced the amps to Al Jorgensen and brought him down, and he hates everything. But he came down, and he, as soon as, you know, started playing a couple of ministry riffs, he's like, yeah, that's it. And he dialed in his tone in just, you know, a few minutes, and he decided this was it. These were the amps for us, so we've been with them ever since. So we really, you know, we love the guys at Blackstar. We really believe in the product. And like Lauren was saying, everything from a little $59, you know, fly amp, which we all use, those little fly amps as well. We practice with those. We bring them on tour. We use them backstage to warm up. And don't be fooled by the size. They sound really good. Got a great delay feature that I love. Really great tone. So they sound just like a little smaller version of these Series 1 amplifiers that we play. So I'm going to play some stuff here for you, and then, you know, talk in between some of the songs, and then if you guys have any questions as well. So get this rolling, all right?
Watch your side.
was a song called Watch Yourself, which I wrote with the late, great Paul Raven and Al Jorgensen for our 2008 Last Sucker record. Anyways, anybody have any questions right now? Anything? Questions, comments, jokes? Nothing? Want to take pictures? Tuning, drop D. A lot of the newer Ministry stuff is in drop D. The older classic stuff is actually in 440, standard E tuning. And we have a couple of tracks in drop C, like a song I wrote called Double Tap on the Relapse record. And then I think Let's Go, I think, is in drop C as well, which is the opening track for The Last Sucker. But other than that, I mean, Ministry's pretty standard, pretty 440. You know, some of the new stuff is in drop D. But, yeah. Any other questions? Sure sounds okay out there? You can hear guitar okay? Tracks okay? Lauren? Lauren's bringing me vodka. Not really. How's the guitar tone? Cool? It's all Blackstar. And me. What's that? Thank you. I am a firm believer in most of your tone comes here. It's in your hands. Because, you could have the same guy, same guitar, same amp, same everything, sound completely different. So a lot of it is feel. Everybody's hand is just different, and I'm a very old school player. Mainly blues stuff. I grew up listening to Ace Frehley, Jimi Hendrix, Page, Clapton, Beck, stuff like that. Gary Moore. I'm not really one of the new arpeggio kind of guys. Just wasn't my thing. My hat's off to all those guys. A lot of great players out there. But I'm a little more, if I can hear somebody lay on one note and just have it move me right here, I mean, that says a lot, rather than a million notes that, I don't know, just doesn't have the same effect with me. All right, I'm going to play another Ministry track right now. Ministry, if you guys aren't familiar, it's a very rhythm guitar heavy band. In the right arm, we do a lot of fast stuff. We have songs, 200 BPM, 220 BPM, and the right hand's got to be like a machine gun. This one's a little up there. It's not our fastest, but it's a song called No W from the Houses of the Molia record.
And now,
Thank you. Can I get a tiny bit more track? Just a tiny bit. Yeah. Still hanging in there? Everything cool? Awesome. Excellent. Really, well, I've got my Blackstar switcher here. One thing to talk about, these heads, these Blackstar heads, I mean, we, obviously, Ministry is a very heavy band, but these heads are very versatile. We use the clean channel. I mean, we don't lose any of that tone, we do use the clean channels on a couple of Ministry tracks. And then I've got a crunch channel for some of the old classic Ministry stuff, which it doesn't have a lot of gain. It's just almost like plugging straight into an amp and just turning it up to 10. That's kind of the crunch channel that I use on this. And then I've got my OD1, which is my straight rhythm channel for some of the newer Ministry stuff. And then I go to OD2 for my leads, just to give me a little bit more of a boost. So these heads are very versatile. It's not just a metal head. I mean, you can play blues, jazz. You can do all kinds of stuff with these heads. They sound really good, and you don't lose anything in the tone. We get all of our distortion from these heads. I don't have any distortion pedals down here. A lot of people sometimes ask, what kind of distortion pedal are you using? And we don't. Everything's coming from this head. Down here, literally, I mean, when I do clinics and stuff like that, I have a very condensed pedal board. So right now I'm literally just going my tuner, my mini wah, and then I have an MXR carbon copy delay and a DOD phaser. And that's it. For Ministry, I mean, we have a much bigger board, but we really don't use a lot of effects. Ministry is just kind of a band that, just kind of plugs in, turns it up. We have a couple of tracks where, like a song like So What, where we use a lot of effects, and I'm using like a reverb and delay and this 12-string pedal. But other than that, I mean, we're pretty straightforward. We don't use a lot of effects. So that's what's in my signal right now. Yeah, that and my big boots. So, any other questions? No?
Yeah, as a player, yep. As a professional player, how do you avoid tendinitis and other overusage?
I don't. It's I hate to say this, but it sucks getting old. There's really, I wish I had an answer. We try to do what we can. We try to ice and, but we try to stretch. We do all those things. But I've been fairly lucky with that. I really haven't had many problems with my hands. Every now and then, depending on how heavy the tour cycle is, I'll start to feel, just this, it's like this, like your hand is just super tired, and it gets a little tough to just kind of work on the neck there. But I've been pretty lucky. Aside from that, just take some ibuprofens and ice and stretch and, try to get somebody to rub your hands, but, there's no real answer or solution for that. I think it just happens, and it's unfortunate when it happens to guys, But just try to take care of yourself and do the best you can, and ice, ibuprofen, and try to chill when you feel that it's acting up. What I've found is just stepping away and taking some time off a little bit usually, helps when I start to feel that. Yeah. Any other questions? Tubes on the Series One EL34s, and we use. This is the 100-watt head that I'm using right now. we use the 200 watters with Ministry, and it's myself, Caesar, our other guitar player, and Al. So the three of us are using those heads, and we are super loud. Like, what I'm playing right now is like not even a quarter of what it sounds like. Just to give you guys an idea, when we rehearse at about 125 dB. That's just our rehearsal room. And, so when we're on, Al is partially deaf, and so now we're all partially deaf because of that. But, he just wants everything louder and louder. So, yeah. And these amps, I mean, I don't know if you notice on some amps, sometimes when they're at a certain volume, they start to just crap out, and you start to lose tone, and you just, it just starts to bottom out, and these don't do that. I mean, we push these things really hard. They sound great,
Yeah, what we're doing up here, too, for this smaller room is a feature on the Series One called dynamic power reduction. So that 100 watt is basically set about at 50 watts. And also, AJ from Mitchell here hooked up a microphone on the cab, but we're really getting the audio off there's no mic that's coming to emulate it out.
Yeah, I'm using the emulated out feature of the head. I'm actually not mic'd, so I'm going straight out of that head right now, which, it's in a tone, man.
The microphone is completely off. Yes,
Yeah, I think it's nice.
yeah, and there's two ways to come out: XLR emulated out or quarter-inch balanced.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Also, anybody that lives in an apartment or a situation where you want to do recording at home and you don't have the luxury of using the microphone and loud volumes in your room, the emulated output feature gives you the opportunity to run direct into a board, which is exactly what we're doing today, and get real guitar tone without having to sacrifice.
Yeah, like if you just can't do the cabinet thing, I mean, this is the sound you're going to get, going direct, so. Cool.
Good sound with not having to unblock.
You have the Metal 5? Is that what the one that Caesar has?
Yeah, Caesar's
Yeah.
got the head version.
Yeah, our other guitar player has that. He uses it to record at home and stuff. And yeah. Any other questions? No? Want to hear another track? Yeah? You guys tired? You want to go home yet? Cool. That's a cool rat shirt, by the way. That's like the old school logo. Are you from here? They came out of San Diego, didn't they? The Mickey Rat, I think that's what they were called. That's cool. Did you ever see them back then?
No, I'm representing my husband.
You what?
I'm representing my husband who's not here, so.
Oh, awesome. Oh, cool. Cool. All right. I'm going to play a song called Rio Grande Blood off of our Rio Grande Blood record. Good idea. Put your fingers in your ears because it's going to get loud right now. Are there any earplugs here for them? Are they okay? Yeah. They might have some earplugs here. That's true. Do they play? Yeah? How old are you? 13? Cool. How long have you been playing? Couple months? You play guitar? Yeah? Awesome. What kind of guitar do you have? You have a what? Nice. Look at you. What kind of amp? Blackstar? Blackstar Fly, $59. What kind of amp? Blackstar. That's cool, man. You like playing? Yeah, is that what you want to do? Yeah? Cool, man. Yeah, you can take my job in a couple years. I'll be you up here in a few years, having technical difficulties. All right, guys, I'm going to do Rio Grande Blood.
A message from the President of the United States, George W. Bush. of mass destruction. A brutal dictator. Now the eating bowl.
Thank you. Sometimes I hate that we wrote fast songs. Is there any water around here? Oh, cool. Anybody have any other questions so I can catch my breath? No?
So I remember when back in the old days when the first kind of Evil Ministry album came out after the dance ones.
After Al's favorite record, With Sympathy. No, he hates the first record. Twitch? Talking about Twitch?
No.
Land?
More Evil.
Land of Rape and Honey?
Yeah. And then that one was, that one and the next one had a lot of guitar samples in it. When, like in your guys' recording process and career, when did when I saw you guys live in the '90s before you were there,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting everything we'd be able to create.
Yeah. Yeah, our right arms pay for that crap. Yeah, they, in the early records when they would use sampled guitars. One thing that, little secret, which is probably not that big of a secret, that Ministry has done is in the studio, if a song was at whatever, even if it was a song, let's just say 175 BPM, right? Al would record, or Mikey or whoever was playing guitar at the time, would go in and record like a couple of notes, and then the engineer would splice everything at like double the BPM, so it just sounded like a machine. And then live, we would have to recreate that. So, I mean, it sucked for us, But, I don't know how we pull off some of the songs that we pull off, but we do it. And the studio is a different thing, as you know, you can do whatever. But in those early records, yeah, I mean, they did crazy stuff that, no band was doing back then, as far as samples and, sounds. And in the track New World Order, there's in the chorus, there's a famous, part that's actually, the sample is somebody coughing. And it's a cough. And it's just like, while we're playing, dun, 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 you hear this, It was an engineer that coughed in the studio, and they recorded it. And the record label at the time, I think, was Warner. And I have a whole story about that, but I won't go into that. Warner wanted a hook for that record. So Al recorded the engineer coughing and sent them that, and he goes, "Here's your hook." And it was this guy coughing, and which is funny because it turned out to be a huge Ministry song. And that kind of is the hook of the song if you listen to that sample. But, just crazy stuff like that happens all the time when we're in the studio. We just hear whatever, any kind of noise in there, and we'll just, we'll sample it, and then we'll put it on there, and then figure out how to do it live later. From what he tells me, yes. Yeah, he did not have a good experience at Warner. I mean, knowing Al now and him back then, I mean, I don't really blame them. he was very difficult, but yeah, it wasn't a very good experience back then. Yeah. Somebody else have a question? No?
What was that like? Like, were you just in the garage or anything, or?
What was it like?
The adolescence, I guess.
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I was born and raised in L.A. and grew up in Atwater, then moved to Burbank, and did the whole garage band thing, played a talent show, and and then did the whole Gazzari's, Whiskey, Roxy, Troubadour, all that stuff. Well, first before that, it was talent show, backyard parties, then the clubs, and slugged it out for many years. But as far as my adolescence, it was just, I was locked in my room playing the guitar. I was playing to, everything. Every day it was like right out of school, I'd go home and practice, and started my first band at about 18, like band that actually played out. And did that for about 10 years, and then got my first record deal with a previous band. And through that band, we had the same booking agent as Ministry. And he was one of the guys that first introduced me to Al. And I remember the first time I met Al, he was having a good time, and he had a few alcoholic beverages. And I met him, and he was like, "Oh, so you play guitar?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right." He goes, "Give me your number." He goes, I'm going to be looking for a guitar player soon." So I gave him my number, and like 2 years later, he called me. And I was like this by the phone, like the whole time. And so he called me 2 years later, and I came into a band called Revco, or the Revolting Cocks. That's the band that I first came into in late 2005. And by that point in time, I'd already released like 2 records with my old band and had already toured and like done all that stuff. But Ministry was always a band that it was one of my all-time favorite bands, and a band that I used to drive to my old band rehearsals, with listening to, and in case you didn't feel like showing up live on cassette and all that stuff, And I'd always be like, man, I want to be in a band like this. And now here I am. So, yeah, that's kind of what it was like for me. Yeah. Yep.
What are you guys doing next?
Next week, we begin playing again this year. We next Friday, we're playing Chicago Open Air Festival with Rammstein, Meshuggah, Chevelle. And that's next Friday at Toyota Park in Chicago. And it's like a 30,000-seater that's already sold out. And then the next day, we play Minneapolis, another festival with Mushroom Head. And then on Sunday, we play Cleveland with Helmet and OTEP. And then come back for about a week. And then end of, I think, July 26th, we fly to Madrid. And we start our European tour for about a month. And then September, we play Houston Open Air Festival with like Slayer, The Cult. That's Houston, September. And then we play some festival in Denver also in September. And then October, we're playing Knotfest in Mexico with Slayer. And then Mexico City. Yeah. Which is probably the closest to LA that we're going to play this year. We have like no LA dates this year. We played LA last year, and we did like a world tour last year, but this year it's all, because we skipped Europe last year, so we're going to Europe this year. South America we did last year. We did Brazil, Argentina, Chile. Yeah. Brazil? We played Rock in Rio last September too. Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's like trying to put themselves out there and become a rock star?
I asked the same question. I don't know what the answer is to that. As far as getting yourself out there, I mean, if music is what you want to do, I can tell you my experience and what worked for me. I was completely consumed with this. I was like, I was, it was blinders. There was nothing else for me. From the very first time I heard Kiss Alive when I was 6 years old, that's what triggered it for me, and it's been my focus my whole life. As far as getting yourself out there, it's a lot of work. It's a hustle that's 24/7, and you got to have thick skin. You're going to hear 1,000 no's and one yes, and you just got to keep going, and things will happen. I'm living proof of that. I mean, I'm living proof that anybody can do this, kid from East LA that no connections, no nothing, and, made it to one of my all-time favorite bands, to 2 Grammy nominations, to, stuff that just, I still can't even wrap my head around that. But it was always, for me, it wasn't, I can't say that it was that I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to do music. Yeah. And if it all ended today, I would be completely satisfied. If it all would have ended 10 years ago, I would have been happy. Just because the goals that I set for myself, I hit them all. And everything now is just like icing for me. To be able to do this stuff, I mean, and you guys actually show up to see me, I mean, that like blows my mind. I swear to God, like I can't thank you guys enough. This stuff really means a lot to me. Because I remember years ago I would beg people to try and come to a gig or something, and it just wouldn't happen. So I feel completely blessed and lucky to be able to do this, to be working with the companies that I'm with, to have, to be surrounded with the people that surround me. But it's all a lot of work. I will say, if you're doing this right, I tell every young guy that I meet, try to develop your writing, because that's what helped me, and that's what helped me with my longevity in this business. I write like write songs. Yeah. I mean, for me, I write I usually do about 75% of the music for Ministry and for the Revolting Cocks, and it's usually just me and Al. And I'll start with whatever idea, and I'll track guitars, bass, keyboards. I taught myself how to play, obviously play guitar, you play bass, and taught myself keys, drums. So I'll present Al with, the blueprints of a song, and then he'll chop it up and do his thing with it. But very important for me was the writing, because I was telling earlier when I was doing an interview, a lot of my friends that I grew up with, they just learned cover songs. I don't know how to play cover songs. I actually, I don't know how to play cover songs. Like, obviously I can pick songs up, if you hear it, but I don't know how to play them, man. It's very tough for me to jam with guys because I never learned that. I was locked in my room developing my writing, from 12, 13, 14 years old, writing horrible songs, but I was getting that going, and that's what snowballed into this. And now a lot of those guys that I grew up with just ended up in bar bands, and, which, not taking anything away from those guys, but they wanted to make it, but they'd find themselves in a situation where a band was like, all right, well, can you write? And it'd be like, I could play Smoke on the Water, So my advice is try to develop your writing. And awesome. Yeah. Well, that's the, I think for a lot of us that probably play, that's the eternal thing, man, is writing, is finding the right guys. That is such a hard thing to do, man. I mean, I wish I had a better answer for you, but I went through the same thing, man, Exactly. I am living proof that anybody can do it, so, yeah. Any other questions? Do you have a question? What do you have in there? Well, not there, but there. Yeah. Brownies. Nice. I got
she has
brownies. That's when you know you've made it. When people show up and they bring you junk food that you like, that's the true sign of making it right there.
Is that your signature that you're playing today?
Yes, this is my, for anybody that's curious, this is my
today?
signature series Schecter guitar, which came out in 2015. I designed this thing. I can't believe I have a signature series guitar, but if anybody's interested, please check it out. Go to Schecter. You can see it online. I love this guitar. I never thought I would have my own signature series guitar. So I'm like I said, everything that's happening to me and that's happened to me is just icing on the cake, or brownies. Brownies on the cake. Did you make those? Yeah, see? That's when you've made it. That's when you've made it. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Is that your son? What's his name? Was it? Logan.
His son's name's Logan.
I dig that he's playing his game. He's like, I don't care what this turkey up there is talking about. I am playing my game. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to play, you want to hear another song? Yeah? Oh, we're doing a giveaway? What's it? The giveaway, the ID Beam? Yeah? No Fly today, or Beam? The Beam? I got a tune. You want to tell them about it? This is Lauren, by the way, who, everybody please give Lauren a round of applause. He's my Blackstar artist relations guy, and he's just, I love being with Blackstar. A lot of it has to do with this guy right here. He puts up with my shenanigans, and we have a great time. We have a great, time together, relationship. These guys are awesome. Not only do we love the product, for me, it's very important to be working with people that I really enjoy, and that, I know he's got my back. So they're a great company to work with. Lauren.
Well, thank you. It's a two-way street too, because
You're
to
damn
have
right.
because to have an artist like Sen in ministry and stuff, be very grateful to come into this environment at Pitbull and get close to other guitarists and chat with people. That says a lot about him, and so it's cool.
Thank you.
So the ID beam that we're giving away is stereo.
Where is it? Do we have one so people can see it?
It's
Is it up there?
John's got one back
Okay.
there. Yeah, on this cool little display. But the beam came out of the ID cores, which is a great 10 watt, 20 watt, 40 watt amps. And these things have surround sound stereos, mind blowing stereo, but you could plug obviously electric guitar. You've got 6 different voices. You got
And you can do bass in that too, right?
bass, acoustic, electric, and there's USB into our software, which you could go into Pro Tools. So this is the giveaway. So if you haven't signed the raffle tickets here,
Yeah, please sign up. Sign up there in the front. Yeah, please sign up if you haven't. It's a really awesome amplifier. So
yeah, you
yeah,
can
it's got an
Bluetooth,
auxiliary in,
so you can
Bluetooth,
songs and play along with it.
What's the price for it, though?
The street price?
$10,000.
I think the selling price is what?
But it's on sale today for.
I think it's $279.
$279.
Yeah.
Is that battery powered?
No.
Okay.
The Fly is battery powered.
Yeah, this one's better.
Yeah, those are nice.
Okay, I'm going to do another ministry track here. One of the classics. Very simple to play, but people like hearing this one. So let's see if you recognize it. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you very much for coming out. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you guys are here. Thank you to Pitbull Audio. Everyone here has been great. Big hand for these guys. Very cool music store. You guys are lucky to have this kind of store here, and that allow this kind of, BS to go on. So thanks again to Blackstar. Thanks to, I forgot the name of the radio station. Talk Radio. I did an interview with these guys earlier. Very, very cool dudes right here. How can we hear that interview? How can they hear it?
Go to entertalkradio.com. It will be actually this clinic as well as the interview will be posted by tomorrow. Yeah, he's the guy who posted it. Production, head of production. Maybe Monday. But they'll be up there. So we'll try to get as many questions in. Obviously, we didn't have mics for you guys, so but you're all on radio. You're all part of it.
Yeah, they were doing this. They were broadcasting live, so pretty cool thing. This kind of stuff doesn't happen all the time, so I feel very lucky to be a part of this. Talk Radio, Blackstar, Pitbull Audio, you guys, thank you very much. Brownies, everything's very cool here. Anybody have any other questions before I split?
I think we're going to give away an amp.
Oh, yeah. We're giving away an amp. Anybody want a guitar pick? Yes. Yeah? You want? These are, just so you know, these are my brand new 2016 picks. So nobody really has these yet. So you could probably get like $20 on eBay for those. Of course. Yeah, man. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. There you go, buddy. Yep. All right, we're going to do the amp giveaway.
No, this might go home with me. Pretty freaking awesome, guys. You guys have a good time? Oh, yeah. Right. Well, you guys are going to go half-deaf like Al did, like you said.
So we've got some shirts here. Here's a small. Okay, this is the fun stuff. XL. Who might be an XL kind of guy? There we go.
All right. T-shirts. Galore.
Another XL. Who's this?
Only at pitbullaudio.com. I think we've got small. I think Lawrence, well, I was going to say you might have a career as a football player, the first one, but I don't know about this last one there, Lauren.
Now this is a medium.
Medium. All right. You did that Rick Barry style.
And so who's this guy here?
I haven't met you. Adam.
This is Adam, one of the
Oh,
two
Adam,
owners.
yes. We haven't, this is the first time we met. I usually, Calvin is the one I'm hanging with a lot. So nice to finally meet you in person here. Definitely.
So,
Drum roll, please. Any drummers out there? Well, here we go. Go ahead, man.
We can pretend.
Got
Nelson Figueroa. All right, man. He was sitting right up front, right? All right.
beautiful.
Come on in, Nelson. Come on. Here, you guys hold it.
Hold on a sec here. Stupid iPhone's not working right here. Oh, there we go. Cool.
Awesome, man.
Let's give it up for Sin again, man. This guy rocks hard, and this is such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. Thank you for coming all the way down here, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for coming out and supporting music. We want to do that. That's what Intertalk Radio is all about. Obviously, Pitbull Audio is all about that, making sure you guys got the right products with the right deals, and peruse the store, because this is a fun place. So enjoy, guys. Enter, E-N-T-E-R.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody and for coming out, supporting this event, and Pitbull Audio. AJ back there helped us get our audio together. Thank you. Shane, thank you for welcoming us. Adam and Cal for letting us. This happened. It's so cool. Everybody have a great